Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today we are going to be looking at the Leatherman Knifeless Rebar. This is a very good option for those that carry a dedicated folder and want something with a little extra functionality. And by eliminating the knife blades, both the serrated and the straight blade on the standard blade on the rebar, they're able to give you a pair of scissors and add some extra functionality that you wouldn't necessarily get with a multi-tool of this size. It's really a compact little tool, and it gives you quite a bit of functionality by eliminating those knife blades. Well, let's get into the specs real quick, and then we will go through all of the different functions and features of the knifeless rebar. The weight on the rebar, the knifeless version, is a very good weight size. It comes in at about 6.2 ounces. That's going to be about 177 grams. The length on it is in the 4-inch frame, so it's 101 millimeters. It's 1.5 inches thick at its widest point, or about 38 millimeters. And the depth on it here is what makes this intriguing. This is going to be very slim at 9/16 of an inch, or about 14 millimeters. Now, a lot of people like the rebar because it's basically this generation's version of the original PST. It has the same design characteristics of the original Leatherman multi-tool. So it has a lot of, it just harkens back to that original style, and a lot of people like that. Well, let's get into the tool set of the knifeless rebar. Because of the more simplistic design of the rebar that harkens back to those early days of the PST, it's going to be very simple in design. So all the tools are going to be on the interior of the tool as opposed to the exterior. One thing that got pointed out to me here recently was in these cutters, and Leatherman has kind of unceremoniously taken out the 154 cm replaceable cutters and replaced them with what they call premium steel replacement wire cutters. I don't know if they're using D2 or what the steel composition is in the new cutters, but what I can tell you is that they're making them a lot thinner in profile up here, and so they make for a lot better wire cutters than what they did originally. They actually cut through wire a little bit smoother than what the originals did. So I'm not sure, and I'm going to have to investigate that further as to what they're, this is post 2019. They're starting to put these premium wire cutters in there as opposed to the old 154 cm. So if anybody has knowledge of exactly what steel they're using on there, I would appreciate it if you drop us a line and let us know. So the rebar comes with a very nice needle nose. It's actually a little bit better than the waves in many ways because for me personally, because I like this more boxy shape. This is kind of shape that you get in the Super Tool 300 and the Surge, which I use. And the reason I like that shape is because of the squared off edges here, it actually works pretty good as a little reamer on the inside of like PVC. Whenever you make a fresh cut on PVC on some of the smaller stuff, it goes up to about 3/4 of an inch. You can kind of ream the inside edge of that fresh cut, which makes it very nice. Comes with the premium wire cutters and hard wire cutters, and also incorporates the pliers. Now, if we start going through, one more thing, it also has a pair of wire crimpers on the back. I forgot to mention that. So the first side we're going to look at has the saw. And the saw on the knifeless rebar is actually really good. It's about the same size. It's actually a little bit shorter than that of the Wave. The Wave probably has just a little bit better of a saw, but this one is very strong and very capable. The next tool, see if we can fan some of these out here. So the next tool is we have our 3/16 flat driver. I like the length that they give you on here because you're getting rid of the knife blades. I think this is one of the extra tools that you get in here. It just comes in handy. A lot of people like the fact that it doesn't have a replaceable or a bit exchanger. A lot of people don't like the fact that a tool will come with replaceable bits, something that you can lose. They would rather have it integrated into the tool at all times, and the rebar offers that. The next tool is the 1/4-inch flat driver. This is a very good tool. Works really well as a little light-duty pry bar as well. Now, because this is the knifeless rebar, it offers what the original rebar is not going to, and that is going to be the scissors, and we got the awl in there too. So it offers the same scissors that you have in the Wave and the Charge series, and while they're not the best scissors, they actually do work pretty good. We're going to pull a little bit of paracord in here real quick and just cut through that. And you can see those are pretty sharp. They're actually getting better. Sometimes it's hit and miss on these scissors. Sometimes they'll want to roll on you a little bit, but these are actually quite sharp, and maybe they're refining those just a little bit better. And then the last tool on this side is obviously the awl. And this is something that you do not get in the Wave Charge series. And what a lot of people like about the rebar is the fact that it does come with an awl. This particular awl has a sewing eyelet on it and has the reaming edge on it as well. This is a very, very good awl. This is much better than what you're going to get in like the P2 and the P4, because it comes down to a true point. It's a really good digging awl, and it just works phenomenally well. On the other side, we have the file. Now this file is pretty aggressive. It does not incorporate a diamond file like you're going to get in a Wave Charge or Surge series, but the file on here is actually very nice. It's very aggressive. It's really getting really close on par with a lot of the Victorinox files. It's not quite as good. The Victorinox file, I think, is just a little bit better yet, but they make some really fantastic files. The next tool is the combination tool. This is what you're going to find prevalent in a lot of Leatherman tools. It incorporates your can opener, bottle cap lifter, and down here is the wire strippers. And the wire strippers are actually really, really good. I've used this in a number of things. I use these a lot in my Surge. They come in incredibly handy. The downside to having them in the rebar is that the way that I use the wire strippers is I will release the tool, and then I will kind of trap the wire in between the frame like so, and that gives me a place where I can actually pivot around there really easily. And the problem is with this one though, I didn't quite get through on the back side there. I need to do that a little bit more. But because the frame or the back portion here is kind of sunk in just slightly, it doesn't offer the best surface in order to jam that up against. So it doesn't make the greatest of wire strippers, but you can see it doesn't do too bad of a job. A lot better than what you're going to get in some other multi-tools. So the wire stripper is a very good function that I use quite a bit on my Leatherman Surge. The last two tools, the first one here is just the lanyard ring. So if you want to attach a lanyard to this multi-tool, you have the ability to do so. Now, one of the best tools on here is this truss style number 2, combination number 1, number 2 Phillips. This is probably one of the best screwdrivers that Leatherman puts on their multi-tools. The Super Tool 300 also has a very good one. I think it might be just slightly longer as well. But this truss style frame of this is an incredibly strong number 2 Phillips, and it works phenomenally well. So by eliminating the knife blades on the rebar, you're able to get a couple of extra tools in there. So for those that, as we mentioned before, that carry a dedicated folder, it makes it very nice. Now, the pouch that comes with it is what they call their box sheath. It's a leather box sheath. It's not as well constructed as some of the others, but it is a very nice compact sheath. Interestingly enough, though, it will also fit in the original Leatherman Wave sheath. So because the profile of this is right on par with that of the Wave, it fits very, very nicely in there as well. And the same token, I don't have one of the Heritage. This Heritage model is actually for the 4.5-inch tools, but if you wanted to carry in a Heritage sheath as well, in the standard version and the medium size, it will fit perfectly in there as well. This is the Leatherman Rebar, Knifeless Rebar, I'm sorry. I've thought about what tools would work better in here, and I think they really did this well. The only thing that I would like to have seen is, I'm not big on those little lanyard rings. I know a lot of people are, but I think they could have got one other tool in here. And the one tool I would like to see in here is probably the package opener from the Leatherman Wingman. I think that would have been a fantastic tool to have in here, or even an additional screwdriver or some other combination of tools. There's a lot of different things they could put in here. They could have put a little chisel in there as well, and that would, a little scraper, that might even work better in this particular tool because it's kind of designed more for kind of working. It's not really, the package openers, I would rather see them in smaller compact tools or knives. but maybe that would have worked better in this particular tool. This has been a look at the Leatherman Knifeless Rebar. Very good tool for those that want a pair of scissors or want some of the extra functionality that this offers, but do not need the knife blades. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. Appreciate you watching. Please hit the thumbs up if you like this one, and I will see you in the next one.